Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kenny Wallace Show. We are back. We are back, bigger, better than ever. My dirt racing is now over, and I got a lot of time. So I even shaved for you all today. Usually, I don't have time to shave, and I'm rushing up to the shop, working on my dirt car, and getting ready for racing. But man, oh man, let's get right at it. How about Vegas? A lot of storylines. But I'm going to tackle Kurt Busch announcing he is going to step away. Now, we're careful with our terminology here because I know that you all are sensitive to my mouth. And Lord knows I got a big mouth. Kurt Busch strategically, I can't even say that. When Kurt Busch said strategically, I'm stepping away from full-time racing, that gave him room to come back and do what he wants to in the Cup Series. Now, I listened. Well, I say Cup Series. Maybe it could be Xfinity. Maybe it could be trucks. As my mama would say, my cup is not full. So let's go over it all and let me give you my opinion. And I'm going to cut through all the bull here. I say it straight up. No politic talking for me. I listened to Kurt Busch's press conference. He was very analytical and he talked through it all. So, Kurt says, listen, I'm not 100%. I'm feeling pretty good. I feel 95%, but I'm racing against the best in the world. Everybody in NASCAR Cup Series is incredibly good, and I just don't think I can get the job done. Okay, let me tell you what he means. Here's what he means. He's not ready to go yet, right? NASCAR hasn't cleared him. NASCAR, they call it the NASCAR liaison. This is a group of doctors, neurosurgeons. They have his records from before he was hurt. That's what they do with all the drivers. They get these records of when you're really good. It's a lot of games you play with, pushing buttons and lights, and they record that. Then when you get hurt, they come back and you do it again. And if you don't line up with how you used to be, they don't approve you. So he's not ready to go yet. So the team that Kurt is driving for is like, hey, buddy, are you racing with us next year? We have another year on the contract. Kurt Busch is not ready. So Kurt needs to step aside so they can put Tyler Reddick in this car. Okay? So a lot of people are reading between the lines too, and they're saying, well, he had no choice. And that's true. He had no choice. He had to move on. So I believe Kurt will come back and try to finish on his own terms and announce a real retirement. But there's a lot here, and we're going to go at it, okay? I said this months ago, and I'm 100% accurate, which I'm proud that I kind of know what I'm talking about. I'm not. My arm's not broke. I'm not patting myself on the back here. But we did say on the Kenny Wallace Show a couple months ago, Kurt's going to be just fine. And here's why. Okay, we know he wants to race, love of the sport, all that, blah, blah, blah. But he's deep into his 40s now, okay? He's probably going to, the only thing he's missing out on here is, announcing his retirement in grand fashion. But he will do that, so be patient. What I've noticed is that the situation caught him off guard. So now he's got to call an audible, and that audible is to go, okay, this car has hurt me, right? And that's a whole nother story. But disability insurance, and that's what I'm getting to. A lot of people don't want to hear about it, but I got to tell you about it. Kurt's going to make more money, as much money being hurt, because at the start of the year, these drivers are going to. Now, we heard Jimmy Johnson talk about it. Remember when he was on the Graham Basinger show on a Sunday, and he said, NASCAR's going down so bad, the salaries are so bad that a lot of these drivers cannot even afford disability insurance. Well, I'm sure Kurt could afford it. So what they'll do is they'll go, okay, I own a house, I got a payment, I got an airplane, I got a payment, I got a motorhome, I got a payment. So you buy the amount of disability insurance you need to cover that. So he might have stroked a check for $20,000, $50,000. You got to write a check one time, right? So let's say he writes a check. I'll give him a break. I'll say he stroked a check for $40,000, $50,000 one time. And what that does, that will give him maybe $30,000 a week, maybe $20,000 a week. It's not important for me to be dead accurate because I don't know his business, but I know what I did, and I had disability insurance. So he'll be making a salary from his insurance company because he can't race. And the doctors say he can't race, so he has a doctor's note. This is real. It's above the board. So he'll be getting paid really good per week, per month. And then it's usually, if you are hurt still after 2 years, he'll get a lump sum payoff of maybe $5 million. So he's got to be careful. You know, does he want to give up that kind of money to say, hey, I want to run 3 races and announce my retirement on my own? So I don't want to repeat myself. I know I'm bad at repeating myself. You heard me loud and clear. So we talked about the Kurt Busch retirement. We talked about, you know, he wants to do it on his own. We know he'll be back, so he can do it real. But I want to get down to the real deal. I want to cut through the bullshit. All right. And I'm a little upset about this, so I'm going to try to talk slow. All right. Why is Kurt hurt? It's because this new car, this next gen car. I listened to all the media this week. And, you know, they're dancing around because they don't want NASCAR to get mad at them. So here's the elephant in the room. I'm going to say it right like this. This new car is hurting drivers. It's ending their careers, and it's putting them in the hospital. The examples are everywhere. Now, will Alex Bowman be back? Because he just announced he probably ain't coming back, right? You read it like I read. He's out for another 3 races. Well, I guess he's done because we ain't got but a little bit to go. We're down to, you know, we're down to the real deal here. We're almost down to the final 4. I mean, so this is it. So as far as I'm concerned, the next gen car has knocked Kurt Busch's, it ended his career. The new next gen cars ended Kurt Busch's career the way he wants to end it. Has it ended, you know, Alex Bowman's career? Who knows? It's hurt other drivers. Now, here's why. We already talked about it, but let's go over it again. NASCAR wants everybody's cars the same because everybody was screaming, you know, it's that new thing. I want everything fair. I want everything, you know, everybody's got to be the same, which is bullcrap. You know, you should let the teams, the drivers. So when you want everything the same, that means everybody's car has to be the same, right? The only way to keep everybody's cars the same is to make this car strong so it doesn't flex anywhere, right? So you got to measure the car everywhere. That's what's hurting the drivers. These cars are so strong. I mean, at least a bridge flexes, right? A bridge, you go over, a river, it flexes. We all feel it. We all see it. This car don't flex at all. I mean, Alex Bowman's wreck was like what? He goes down into turn 3. He spins out, not even all the way around. Spins, and his ass end of his car goes pop, and he's out the rest of his year. I mean, the ass end of these next gen cars, the rear bumpers are so strong because I guess there's a lot of pickup points that NASCAR wants to measure. The height of the spoiler, you know, the width of the car. So they don't want anything to bend in the back. They forgot about the driver. Now, when we go back early in the year, if you remember, it was Denny Hamlin, it was Kevin Harvick, and they were raising red flags. Hey. You know, the teams do their own testing too. The teams are smarter than NASCAR's engineers. And the teams are telling them what to do to fix it, but NASCAR likes to do it on their own terms. So in the meanwhile, they started at Daytona, they started at Daytona. And all the drivers, specifically Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, says, you're going to hurt people. Well, we ended Kurt Busch's career. We put Alex Bowman out. Who's next? Who's been hurt and who's got away with it? Now, Let's go to the next subject. I've heard this one from drivers. NASCAR is a dangerous sport. Racing is a dangerous sport. You should be willing to seek death. And if you die, that's part of the sport. That's stupid. That's asinine talk. I mean, okay, look, we don't sign up to drive race cars, thinking we're going to get killed. Is it a dangerous sport? Yes. If you're in baseball and you're standing in front of a 100-mile-an-hour ball, it's dangerous. Listen, we've seen people in baseball as the ball come back. Football, all sports are inherently dangerous, yes. But we don't play them thinking we're going to die. Is it in the back of our mind? Yeah, it could happen. But it's going to be something bizarre, and we hope it's not us, right? So for some of the drivers that are not running in NASCAR right now, that are saying, I'm tired of Harvick running his mouth, that these cars aren't safe enough. You're wrong. Because when I drove in NASCAR, when you wreck, and I've done some wrecking. I've been in the hospital. I've had a positional vertigo. I've, cracked 3 ribs. I've been roughed up. But when we wrecked our cars 5-6 years ago, they took it, and that's the way it was. We do not drive these race cars thinking we're going to get killed. All right. Now, it's kind of sad for me to say, but this new next-gen car, what it's doing is it's maiming drivers. It's not killing them. It's just making them miserable, right? So, poor Alex Bowman, this kid's young. He don't know when he's going to be right. So, NASCAR finally, a couple weeks ago, said, okay, next year in 2023, here's what we're going to do to the rear. Oh, my God. So, we still got all these races to go. Not a lot, but enough at racetracks where we could lose some more drivers to head injuries. These cars are so strong. Now, let me explain the head injuries. Your brain floats in liquid, right? When you hit hard, the brain smashes up against your skull like a boat in the water, and it hits, and that is what you call a concussion. Your brain swells up, and all of a sudden you're not right. So because your brain floats in liquid, smashes up against your skull, it takes you down, puts you out. So, I've said it once, I'll say it again. NASCAR's got a lot on their hands here. This new car, I think it's good for competition, and it's bad for the drivers. So I want to let you use that quote. Kenny Wallace says this new next-gen car is good for competition and bad for the drivers. So let's wrap it all up. The new next-gen car, because the way it was built, too strong, has ended Kurt Busch's career. It's the car. I feel my opinion, it's the car's fault. Alex Bowman's wreck, I thought he just tapped the wall. My God. So I feel bad for these drivers. And once again, I know it's a dangerous sport, but it doesn't mean you're dumb. It doesn't mean you don't try. Football made better helmets. Baseball, they're wearing helmets too. So we have to try. We know it's a dangerous sport. It takes a wild wreck to kill somebody. So right now, it looks to me like it's not taking very much to maim a driver. So I feel bad for Kurt Busch, but this new car made Kurt Busch retire a little early. Will he be back? I think he will be back. But it is the perfect storm. We had Tyler Reddick coming. The car took Kurt out. Kurt steps aside. He's got disability insurance. What a wild ride Kurt Busch did not deserve. All right, that's the end of the Kenny Wallace Show about Kurt Busch and this new car. It's a mess, and NASCAR knows they have a mess on their hands. But it looks to me, sounds to me like they can't fix it until next year. All right, everybody. We see you next time on the Kenny Wallace Show.